Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are going to finally be covering it. I've been putting this one off for a little bit, but yes, today we are covering the best way or fastest way to level up in the Merchant Alliance. I'll have a few different methods as always, varying depending on your skill level. So let's go ahead and hop into it. And I do want to just forewarn, I do not recommend doing Merchant unless there is some sort of event going on with double value or double gold or double rep. Strictly because it's such a slow faction to level up that it just makes it so much more worth it when those events are going on. But first things first, we need to purchase an Emissary flag from the merchant, which can be unlocked at level 15. Then we're going to go ahead and raise that up. Now the first thing we want to do is actually buy all the crates from this merchant here. Because not only are they going to help us by having more supplies, but we actually get some Emissary value for picking up these crates and putting them on our ship. So as you can see, every single time we take a crate, our Emissary value is going up just a little bit. And with the last one, we'll start running over and putting them all on the boat here. And if you don't want to put them all on the boat, it's really fine. It doesn't make that big of a difference. You might get like an extra fifth of a level. And then since we want to hit grade 5, we're going to go ahead and start a specific raid voyage. And there's two kinds of, or not a raid voyage, a dive voyage, sorry. And there's two that we can pick from. They're both pretty similar. However, I recommend the Asher one just because people tend to bother you less here and you can actually get slightly better crates. So we're going to click dive to that, but before we actually sail out, what I like to do is take our map and find where we're starting and where we're going to over on the map over here. So we're ending at Moros Peak and we're starting at Galleon's Grave. And if we look at the line it follows, it sort of goes down like this. And what I like to do is just map this out like this, so that when we are sailing, we can make sure our boat is following this specific path, and you're going to hit your birds a lot easier if you're doing it this way. Well, let's go ahead and dive to our quest and get started. So as we can see as we pop up here, it is going to put us right beside some birds. So we're going to sail over to those birds, but we also had an island on our right, so I will say there is a chance that there could be something on the island here. So I do want to just cannon over there and check really quick. Because essentially all we need to find for this specific voyage is the key. And if we find the key, then we will be set up to do it insanely fast. However, this time it doesn't appear to be here. So we're going to continue forward to those birds and hope the fog doesn't make this too hard on us. And if you're having trouble finding birds if it's nighttime, that's probably just because it's nighttime. They do get much harder to see. So head up to your crow's nest if you can't really see any, and it is much easier to see birds from up there. But as we pull up to this first bit of rubbish, it looks like we got incredibly lucky and got our key right away, which is actually more common than you might think. So with this key, we are very lucky, because we can sail pretty much straight to Moros Peak now, because if you didn't know, the final shipwreckage generally always spawns around the final island, which in this case is Moros Peak, which is this island right here. So we're going to start sailing down there, and we'll see if we can spot any birds with a shipwreck. However, if you don't find the key, just keep in mind any island that this path goes close to, such as Liar's Backbone or Cinder Islet, could possibly have the key on it. So you just have to be cautious as you're sailing by those islands. Make sure you're checking. And as we can see, there are birds right there. So if you hadn't found the key yet, you would also want to stop at those birds and check, make sure the key's not there. However, we're still a bit far from Moros, so I'm pretty certain it's not going to be our shipwreck. So we're just going to go right on by. And we're going to do a little bit of a wide berth just so that we don't get bombarded by fire rocks here. But yes, this was another part of the shipment, and that blue bottle there, if you do find those, will give you clues to help you solve this voyage. So definitely make sure you pick those up. Now, unfortunately, we may have gotten a bit unlucky, and it looks like this sloop may be at our potential shipwreck. So we'll have to get a little closer before we can tell. But if I'm being honest, this is probably the first time this has ever happened to me. But as you can see, that right there is likely our shipwreck. So I'll see you guys if I make it there safe. And I think they are actually just leaving, but we'll see. They might be going straight towards where we have to go. But from my experience, most of the time when you come across other people in the roar, they kind of just want to do their own thing. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. And honestly, even if you do come across someone, I do recommend you just see what they're doing or what they're up to. If they want to fight, I encourage you to fight with them, because trading in a little bit of treasure for some fighting experience is always worth it in my opinion. But we have a couple birds here. We actually have a setback there that I really do think is our shipwreck. But since we're already close to these birds, I figured I'd check these first. And unfortunately, these are just barrels, so we're going to turn around here and go back to that other shipwreck. So I'll see you guys when we get there. So as we pull up here, we can absolutely tell this is the sunken ship, because you'll notice how calm the waves are here. This tends to happen at shipwrecks, so we can be pretty certain that this is going to be our spot. You can also just confirm it by jumping in the water. So now we're going to take our key and we're going to go ahead and dive down here. And all we have to do is open up this door here. And we'll have a whole bunch of crates that we can go ahead and grab. Some of them will be really valuable, but most of them won't be worth anything at all. And if you want to do this in an efficient manner, I recommend bringing down a bit of food, because then you can just eat instead of going up for air. However, I just do not have any food on me. And make sure, even though the captain's quarters has most of the treasure, make sure you're still diving the rest of the boat here, because there is still more treasure to be found, including the most valuable item, which is actually this manifest right here. And this is essentially what will make sure you complete the quest. So you want to make sure you get this one for sure. And if you don't see anyone around, you might as well grab the kegs too. They are extra gold and reputation. However, since we had someone kind of close, I am not going to be doing that. And this time we actually got very unlucky. We didn't get a single valuable crate. But sometimes you can get some of the ashen crates from this event. So I'm just going to make sure we grab the rest of these, and I'll see you back when we're back on the boat. And we've got our last crate here, so we're going to drop that and swim up and start harpooning things. And if this happens to you, don't really worry about it. I'm going to show you a little trick you can do. But let's go ahead and get over to the outpost first. And then we're just going to make sure everything is on the nose here. And now to hit grade 5, we're going to come to the merchant over here. And if we just buy one of the crates, this should be enough to get us the rest of the way. And there we go, we hit grade 5 just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and harpoon our loot. Now you could go ahead and do this same quest over and over again, and it wouldn't get you too bad reputation and gold, as it is decently quick. But as you can see from the entire quest, we earn around 30,000 gold. And our reputation we get is not quite a full level. So we're going to go ahead and do something a little better now that we're grade 5. And everything you want to do is under raid voyages, but there are some of these you want to avoid. A sea fort is not going to give you very good loot whatsoever and is not worth the raid. And I personally don't like shrines or treasuries, so I would avoid these. However, a duel with an Ashen Lord can be very great and quick to do. Same with the Skeleton Fort, you can get very decent loot out of this. And these two I would only recommend if you're a very good player or you have a crew to play with. But in my opinion, the best one and most time efficient is actually a skeleton camp. So we're going to go ahead and dive to this, and I'll show you how much treasure we get from it. And as we pull up here, I do just want to reiterate that I would only recommend doing merchant if it is some sort of double rep and double gold weekend, or there's a merchant guild that's out, because it is just one of those slow factions that we have to just hope at some point we get an overhaul for. So unless this is the last faction you need to level up, I would recommend doing some other ones and just wait for one of those specialty weekends. But let's go ahead and get started on this encampment. Okay, and just like that, that only took about 4 minutes, I would say. We are all finished, and the nice thing is you are gonna get one of the raid voyage items, which is the Scroll of Shrouded Waters. It's very quick, and then we can store everything in here and go ahead and head up. And in my opinion, this is the best and fastest way to level up your merchants. Although it is a little slow and boring, it's the best method we have as of right now. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or even all 3 down below. As always, we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace!